Okay, off topic from the R2. I printed a Dalek, a large Dalek, because I printed a small one, as you've probably seen on the blogs, but that was the large one. Never painted it, so I'm going to paint that. I've had part of the InMoov in bits, sort of an ongoing sort of semi-repair. So that's his breastplate. So I'm going to that's just undercut. I'm going to fill all that and actually get that quite prepared. I think might as well, because it's sort of a major part of the front of the InMoov. InMoov's still slightly in bits. If you follow that one, it's got a broken. It hasn't got a broken neck. Sorry, it's got a broken arm. The neck's in bits. So the InMoov is transitioning, I think is the way to look at it. But I will do a catch up. I did a bit of work on the InMoovs and a small video on it, which I'll put out. Actually, it's only a 5-minute thing, but you can just see what's going on. So that's it today. It's Saturday, and I will continue. There's an update on my InMoov. Nigel InMoov. I've snapped off. Well, I haven't actually snapped off. It's sort of come loose. The arm section. I was moving it around, and it's just because I've used really quite shallow screws into the plastic there, so it's pulled off, so the arm's actually dropped off. It was hanging loose, so I've just got it hanging on the tie wrap. So that's a job to be done. I might actually, if I'm going to fix that, because I've obviously got to take that whole arm assembly off, I might try printing the new arm assembly on the Gail's got on his website. Which it's been out a while now, but this is obviously was printed a few years ago. And completely reprint that whole assembly rather than just sticking it back together again. We'll see. So it's just sort of hanging there, as you can see, but it's not going anywhere. It was obviously, there's a lot of pressure on that, because I was moving the unit around. I was just pushing him out of the way, actually, so I could get behind him, and there's a lot of weight on the end of that. So that's the state of that arm. I'll just pan up a bit. I've sort of half finished, as you probably saw in an earlier video, the neck, so I need to get back and do that. I've just been abroad for a while, so I haven't really had a chance to keep up on up to speed on all these things. So that neck assembly just needs bolting together, and just a bit of reprogramming and messing around with that. So I'm going to do those jobs. So that's the InMoov, and I'll show you other things. They're the Dalek bits, and there's a few bit of R2 bits, a bit of a mixture. That's the Dalek plunger and his gun. Some masking tape just to keep it upright. Those, as you'll recognise, are the last. That's undercoat. I've run out of the grey undercoat, so I'm just using what undercoat I've got, which is plastic white undercoats. They're the first set of battery connectors for the missing parts, and these are that's all on double-sided tape. Well, it's masking tape just turned upside down, so it'll just stay in place. They're the little bauble, the bits that go on. Don't know what colour they're going to be. That's obviously going to be gunmetal. Running out of paint again, as usual, so I've ordered a load more paint. I found an online place which is £2 a can rather than like £7 or whatever from some of the other suppliers. So I've ordered a few different varieties, because I just need some touch-up paint, and it's costing too much. I think I'm spending a lot of money on paint, so I'm trying some cheaper brands, which will arrive over the next couple of days, and I might get another day in during the week. But work permitting, we'll see how it goes. But at least that's got undercoat, that's got a top coat. Not going too badly. I'm pretty much ready to assemble the legs now. I've got all the bits that I can glue the legs completely together and add all the greebles, which will tidy up the place massively. I think I showed you earlier on the video. I did those yesterday. Just make sure I did, in case I didn't. They came out very nicely, so I'm very pleased with those. That's it. So have a good week. Welcome back to one of my 3D printing episodes. I'm doing one on Daleks, as you can probably see. I printed this Dalek last year, and that one. Never assembled that one, never painted it, never really assembled this one actually, just because I'm in a painting mode at the moment, painting the R2-D2. I've got some paint, so I thought I'd paint him. He's not fully painted as at the moment, but I've sort of put him together just to see what he's going to look like. So a bit more work to be done on that one. So if I just show you how this one, I'll do the links on, these are all off Thingiverse. This particular one is Renegade Dalek by Audrey 2, and it's a great kit. So just got to paint these bits. This whole top section comes apart. It's very nice the way it splits down, because you can actually get it all individually painted. So I've just got to do a bit more painting on these pieces. Pan down a bit just so you can make sure you can see that. So these pieces just slot in there, so you can actually paint these. I'm painting these as sort of a dark grey and this a light grey, because I had these paint colours. So just got to sand that down a bit more to get a better finish on there. Painted that ring gunmetal because I had some gunmetal paint, so it completely strips down, as you can see, and that is the grey. What I've still got to paint is let's just create a bit of space here. It are these or finish painting rather, are the little bauble bits that go on here, and the sections that go on to the there's pieces that go on here as well. So that's where I am. I'm going to give that another paint. I just did a paint. So basically, these all had a first coat yesterday. So I'm just going to touch up the painting, give these pieces another paint. I've got to paint the underside of there. That's probably not too bad actually. Give that a paint, glue these bits together, and then reassemble. And then I might look at painting the little baby one, this is a beautiful model. This came out really well. I'm really pleased with that. It's a two-part. It clips in, so I won't pull it apart. But that is just printed, and these are separate. They plug into. So it's basically you've got that part, that part, that part, and that part, and that part. As a print. I'll do the link on that one as well. I haven't got it in front of me at the moment, but I'll do both the links. But that came out. I mean, I've shown this in a previous video actually, but it came out superbly well. So I might actually, I bought myself a paintbrush, spray brush, you know, modeller's spraying kit, airbrush, is the word I'm looking for. But I don't really have proper sort of ventilation in here, so I might get one of those modelling extractor things, you know, the little desktop things, and actually use that as an example to spray paint, you know, modelling spray paint, airbrushing, what's the word I'm looking for, and just practice on that, because it's really nice. That I'm very pleased with that. So that's really what I'm going to do today anyway. So I just thought I'd show you it in bits. It's, as I say, it's not a huge project, but it does need quite a bit of painting, and all these sections just gluing back together, and these gluing on there, and a bit of sanding work. So I'm going to repaint it, and I'll show the results later. Hello. So briefly back to my build of the Renegade Dalek, which is Aubrey 2 on Thingiverse, but I'll put a link up. So I've added on the I painted it several times now, as you can see. So I've got grey, which is dark grey, and then this is sort of black grey, this colour, which I think works really well. This ring I've put together, so that's gunmetal. That's the gunmetal I've been using on the R2-D2, and then I've stuck on these the plates, the small plates and the large plates. I've put them on with hot melt glue rather than super glue, just in case I wanted to change anything. So quite a bit of this I'm going to assemble with hot melt, I think. just because you can strip it apart again and do what you like. So it works quite nicely actually, and it gives you, if you misalign it, it's not a problem because you've got to get sort of a height on the top. But I think that looks rather good. I'm pleased with that. I'll show you later, but I've been working on adding in, I'll show you now actually, eye stalks. I've got some flashing LEDs, which I've enlarged these holes on the side, and they will, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave them slightly out or push them completely in, so not sure really. That's completely in, and I've drilled, or I'm still sort of working on this, but I've drilled a hole right through the middle, through there, so I can actually feed that cable in down there into the bottom, so I can put a battery at the bottom. I've also just redone the just make sure you're on camera. Yeah, that bit, it obviously goes in there, but I've reprinted that. I will show you. Reprinted it there, and when I printed it, I scored out a line, a gouge in, a trench inside it. So I've actually then managed to drill right through that, and there's a 3.5mm drill bit. I can now get through that. So in other words, I gouged out a piece on either side, stuck it together, and then just reamed it out again with the screwdriver. The point, and the same with the little bit that goes on, so that will go on there. The idea being, hopefully it'll all work out, is I can get either a green or I'm not sure which colour, LED in there, and that will just it's just been painted since I've cleared it out, so I might need to make that hole slightly bigger again, but the LED, there you go, LED will just fit in the end there, and the idea is that'll fit through there. I bought some really thin tin copper wire, electrical wire, that stuff you wire transformers with, so I can get that through there to power it. So it's either going to be a red one or a green one. I'm not sure which one. Green might work, but the lamps on the side are red, so that's the green alternative. So that'll have red light, which I've if I've got a battery here, I'll quickly show you that working. I have it. Here we go. Put the other one in as well. The printer you can hear going on in the background is another Dalek, because I'm just in a Dalek mode for some reason. So just temporarily wire this up. I've just got this running off a 9-volt battery at the moment, which is slightly down on voltage, which is even better. So, because these are 12-volt LEDs, but I don't want them too bright, so hopefully that will go on. And if you can see that, let's bring that into. Obviously that slots in there a bit more. That's the idea anyway. So it's either going to be like that, or they're going to be out on stalks. Can't really do that. Slightly one-handed, but anyway, you can see the idea. Looks like some sort of insect there, I think. So that's what I've been doing with that. Get rid of that. Next stage of the build, or not the build, the assembly. All these bits back in there. I've got lots of the roundels to put on these little things, which I've painted. Took quite a while to paint, because if you stick them on a bit of paper and paint them, you get a gunge around the side. So I sort of suspended them in mid-air and painted them. But they're going to go on there, so I don't scratch that. Obviously, they go on like this, and I'm going to. There's a bit of movement on them, so just to get them to line up, I'm just going to make sure it's all flat, and use the hot melt gun again to hold all those on, just to get, if I get one mislined or something, I don't like the look of it. Just because I'm spending a bit more time on the painting this time, but which is the fun bit actually, part of the fun anyway. So that's where I am with the Dalek. I just thought I'd give you a quick update on that. Just swing around, you can see the other Dalek being printed on there. I'll put a link on that one again. That's a 1965 the Chase Dalek by who made that? That is by Striker 123 on Thingiverse. So I'll put a link up to his Thingiverse number. So that's it for the moment. Okay, there's an update on the Dalek I've been building. Well, I built it, but I've been painting. Finally, just had to. I didn't print enough of the little roundels, so I've just printed another 16 to put on the back and painted them. Painted these last week, just haven't had a chance to catch up on it. I've repainted this a few times, and I've now got it to sit in. I'll just take that apart. There it goes. I've got these to slot in a bit more. Just get some more light on this. Hold on. So I managed to get this to slot in because it wasn't. This wasn't slotted through, so there was a slight gap around there, and then the top didn't pivot, although I'm not actually, I don't want it to turn really, because I'm going to put wiring inside it. So that's been printed. I've drilled a hole through the middle, as you can see, and I've drilled these out to take the two lenses, the two lamps as I was showing earlier. So they're ready to go in, those two. I've made up the little LED with very thin wire, and that's going to go, not in that one, hold on, I'll get the right one. That was one. That was the original one, which I didn't drill out, so I remade that. It just needs a bit more painting work done on it. As I think I showed earlier, I've gouged out a hole in either side and then drilled straight through it. So, and that's going to go in the other one of these, which again, I need to, that's very organised, this video. The other one of those, which will go on there, which I'm going to paint, and which will go on there. So I'm just going to stick the roundels on here, and then I'm going to look at sorting out the lights, do a touch more painting on it, and then that's finished and I can get that done.